What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Three Pyramids Network. And today, as you can see, we are about to react to another video. It's called RIP Instagram. Hold on, wait, what? To Instagram's 20 slide AI warning. All right. Actually, who the creator for this is Nikki Sanders. So shout out to her. The original video will be in a link in the description below. But let me stop talking. Let's do this.
Adam Mosseri has said the feed is dead. People have stopped sharing personal moments years ago. And yes, you guessed
True.
it, AI did not help. But people have been complaining about Instagram for a while now. And because of AI, Adam Mosseri has dropped a 20 slide carousel breaking down the state of Instagram and what it means in this AI world. And in this video, we're going to break down everything that he said, especially the solution that he's giving to stand out on Instagram.
I'm
And at the
listening.
end of this breakdown, I'm going to give you a prompt that is going to give you the solution right inside of your phone. So first, let me bring up this actual post. Let's start
I
with
like
the
them
end in mind.
prompts.
Instagram is going to have to evolve in a number of ways and fast.
Facts.
That's so comforting. But let's go into the beginning of the slide, like around slide 5, because this is where he talks about the AI slop. Right here, he says, we like to complain about AI slop, but there's a lot of amazing AI content. Even the quality of AI content has a look, though, too slick, skin too smooth. That will change. We're going to see more realistic AI content. Am I wrong for thinking that he wrote this with AI
I
because
was
of that
thinking the
M dash, or
same
are we
thing.
just traumatized? Let's talk about it. Now, I hear what he's saying. There are a lot of AI images that you can tell is AI, but I mean, the realistic side of things is actually happening sooner than he thinks. Staying on the AI content real quick, if we're thinking about these images, you're looking at tools like Nano Banana,
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT, and even Meta AI because they partnered with Midjourney. But let's continue. Now, this part I actually agree with.
Really? I wonder when that
Authenticity
happened.
is becoming a
I don't
scarce
remember that.
resource, driving more demand for creator content, not less. And bump what all these AI experts and gurus are saying that influencer marketing is going down because of AI. That is not true. We're seeing the backlash of AI in the music industry right now with that Zane Monet chick, and how much people do like the AI music, but how much people are not liking it. And it's starting to become a little bit more louder about AI and taking over the complete creator economy. Now, don't get it twisted. Not all AI content is slop. Like, I follow Justin, and Justin is one of my favorite content creators when it comes to this AI stuff. All his stuff is fire because it gives this kind of like nostalgic feel for some of the favorite music artists or actors and movies that we've been watching. And he puts his own spin to it when it comes to this AI thing. And yes, this is on Instagram. I'm showing you everything on Instagram. Even look at what Ricardo did with MTV and the end of the era and showcasing TRL and some of our favorite moments unplugged. And it gives that nostalgic but also emotional feel like, oh man, I remember that. Like, that's the cool part about AI. Now, bonus, the tools that they use for these videos is Nano Banana for the pictures and Kling for the video side of things.
I've never heard of
Now let's
clean.
talk about what he thinks people
I
are
might have to
doing.
look that one up.
So he says the primary way people are sharing is in DMs, blurry photos, shaky videos of daily experiences, shoe shots, and unflattering candids. This raw aesthetic has blended into public content and across art forms. Here is my problem. Instagram has always been known for being this picture perfect resume type platform, whereas TikTok has been known for the unraw kind of style. And so now that they're realizing that people are getting burnt out, people are not liking what Instagram is doing, and an older crowd is only going to Instagram. The younger generation isn't even opening Instagram. They're trying to make a different approach. Now, let's call a spade a spade. Let's not blame AI as far as wanting to have more organic and raw content. Let's
Mm-hmm.
blame it as that TikTok is killing it with that kind of style, and you're trying to bring it to Instagram. Because I'm
But in an earlier video that I watched, uh, we see that TikTok is actually taking a really, really big hit. Because they're not paying people like they used to. Because they were purchased by Oracle from the US. So that is a caveat that I don't know when this came out, but obviously it came out not too long ago.
I don't know anybody who's sharing like blurry photos. Now, he also says the camera companies are betting on the wrong aesthetics. They're competing to make everyone look a pro photographer from 2015, but in a world where AI can generate flawless imagery,
Look like
the
a
professional look
photographer.
becomes the tell. Now, I will say the imperfection is now the new
That's
in thing,
tough.
it's the new trend.
I ain't gonna hold
Like,
you. That
we
a couple of
want to
these is
see
tough.
misspellings in grammar. We want to see something weird in your video, and or maybe the audio's maybe slightly weird, so we know that it's not AI because there's so many deep fakes. But I do believe there needs to be a balance, especially
Yeah,
as
it's
us
true. There's a
growing
lot
as
of
brands.
defects.
We want to elevate our look and not just stay to the standard because that's what's trending. So he's saying flattering imagery is cheap to produce and boring to consume. People want content that feels real. Savvy creators are leaning into unproduced, unflattering images. In a world where everything can be perfected, imperfection becomes a signal.
Yes
And low
and
key,
no.
that's happening right now
Yes
with
and no.
creators. So shout out to Trap. Trap is the
A Wall
best
Street Trapper.
influencer when it comes to stocks and options, right? And so he started to
I don't know
change up
about the
his whole
best,
style,
but he's really
grabbing
good.
his phone, going outside, answering questions, having this certain kind of style. And we're seeing 460K, 211, 660K. Like his views are going up by just grabbing his phone and going outside. Whereas before he had more highly produced content and it wasn't necessarily hitting the way that he wanted to. I think one of the top creators who do this very well, of course, is Wallow as
Hell
well.
yeah,
Wallow
hell
is infamous at
yeah.
just like not really high produced content. If it is, it's going to be only on his podcast. But he's been blowing up our feed with just his organic content that he grabs from his phone. I actually like this bar that he said, which is rawness isn't just aesthetic preference anymore, it's proof. It's defensive. A way of saying this is real because it's imperfect. Even though he has an M dash, and we don't know if AI wrote this. So is he really even following his own advice?
I love that sound.
Now, this next point should happen now. Like, you should focus on this now and not later, like he's trying to insinuate. Where it says, relatively quickly, AI will create any aesthetic you like, including an imperfect one that presents as authentic. At that point, we'll need to shift our focus to who says something instead of what is being said. And that needs to happen now. This is why in 2026, you're going to hear a lot about personal branding. You're going to hear a lot about brand world. You're going to hear a lot about creating a content series so people can see your face all the time, see your style all the time. Because, like he said, it is going to be more about who said it. Perspective is going to take over everything because anybody can create a narrative. Anybody can create and tell the news, but who is sharing their perspective
Do I
that
have
will
faith in
change
that
what
individual?
people think? AI hasn't gotten that good just yet to change what people think. It's very dope. People like it. They like what they see. They like what they hear. But it doesn't have more power than a human's perspective. On slide 14, he tells you exactly what Instagram is going to pay attention to, which is paying attention to those who is sharing something and why. Do not let that go over your head. Perspective and how you say it and why you say it is going to really stand out now. The creators who maintain trust and signal authenticity by being real, transparent, and consistent will stand out. Now that I think about it, this reminds me of something that Big Bob says, which is Nipsey Hussle's mentor. He used to say, do you want to be a weather broadcaster or do you want to be a weather changer? Right? Where anybody can say the news, anybody can find some type of information and give it out because it's there. Like, it's not hard to find information anymore. But what is hard is to be transparent, to be vulnerable, to share certain types of moments that only you can share and nobody else can, that will get people to start thinking and not just watching. Now let's get into the strategy of what he said, because if this is the direction that they're going, we have to think about two things. One, how is our content striking conversation, which is engagement? And two, how are we making it shareable? Because
That's what
one
I'm trying
thing
to
that Instagram has been
figure out.
very loud about is that they focus on content that will go into the DMs, focus on content that will go into the stories. What is shareable content that you are creating? So, since Meta and Instagram are pro AI, let's use AI to help us with that. Now, I've been using this prompt for a little bit to talk about how do we create conversational content and shareable content. So this right here, you could put this in any AI model, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever your preference is. And put this is going to act as a content strategist, and you're going to give it an idea, right? So if you don't have an idea, do some brainstorming and then add this prompt once you have the idea, right? It's going to generate 5 to 7 content execution concepts and embrace the imperfection in organic production, right? Everything that Instagram is saying that they want. So it already has the kind of like the core principles, the unproduced, the unflattering, the conversation, the shareability. It's going to break it down, and it has some formats uh, for each of these concepts. So you got like the concept name, the visual approach, the unflattering element, the hook, and the caption,
That
because
this
we
is
know the
actually
hook
really
and the
interesting. I'm not
caption
gonna
are
lie to
both
you.
important. So I'm gonna give you this prompt. This is not something that you have to go back and take a screenshot. It's in the description. There's a link right there. And I want you to use it with any idea that you have. So, to some and most, Instagram has been dead for a while, but it looks like Instagram is just shifting to be in this AI era, as well as to still be competitive. But you let me know if you're even on Instagram, or you kind of left that alone last year or the year before that as well.
So I will say I'm on Instagram. And for my gaming channel, I mean the I guess most engagement and the most love that one of my posts have gotten, maybe I think it was like 68,000 or something like that. Um, and that was based off of a game that when I got into it, nobody was really playing it. It's called Dispatch. Uh, and yeah, like it blew up. A bunch of like literally, I would go from like my peak would be maybe like or no, my peak was 68,000, and like the I guess minimum for every clip that I posted, because it was like you got 2 episodes a week or whatever, or yeah, every week you got 2 episodes or an episode every week or something like that. Um, I was netting like 1,000 to, I want to say the most was, I think it was like 15,000 views and stuff like that per post. So, like, I mean, since I haven't played Dispatch in a while and I've been playing other games and stuff like that, like it's not been as good as it was before, but that is what it is. Uh, but this is something that if you are a creator, you should actually pay attention to this. I know I am paying attention to it, and I will be most likely implementing a couple things that what she said. But this is good to know, to also know what these platforms are doing and how you can be ahead of the curve is always the best thing that you could ever think of. I'm so serious. I'm not even playing around. But with all that being said, man, love each and every last one of y'all. I will catch you on the next one. This is your boy, the ignorant, eclectic, mad genius. Until the next one. Peace.